Good evening, and welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting for Tuesday, January the 13th, 2026. At 6:30 p.m. we are tonight temporarily in the Robert Thornton Conference Room, which is room 24, in the Norwood Town Hall at 566 Washington Street in Norwood, Mass. Tonight we have several items on our agenda, but I'd like to start off with our Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silent reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, so we got a couple of guests tonight. We have a lot of items for new business. I'm going to try to knock out a couple of little items before we get started with the first appointment, which is I'd like to start off just by getting the warrant signature update taken care of. This is submitting notification of review and approval of the warrants signed by the board's representative.
I'll make a motion to approve the warrants.
All right, motion made by Mr. Donnelly,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous, 4-0. And then also now we have item 2, which is meeting minutes for approval of the board. These are the meeting minutes from November the 12th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve and accept the meetings from the November 12th, 2025 meeting.
All right, motion made by Mr. Lane.
Seconded.
Seconded
Could
by...
I just
Yes.
make one amendment, if I could? There's a phrase here, Article 8 remains the same, 3-1, not to recommend. I believe that the first motion is that of the FinCom, and I think that is contrary to the motion they made on November the 12th. So I just suggested that phrase, Article 8 remains the same, just be stricken from the minutes. Other than that, so if Mr. Lane, if you wouldn't mind accepting that amendment.
Perfect. Good catch.
All right, so motion by Mr. Lane with the friendly amendment from Mr. Donnelly, and then seconded by Mr. Sad. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. All right, nothing stops us from starting early if our guests are here and it's not technically a public hearing, if we're in the mood to start off with a visit from the concert committee, if they're ready.
Ready.
All right, take it away. And just as a reminder, introduce yourselves for the benefit of the public record.
Yeah. I'm Dave Tuttle. I'm a member of the Norwood Concerts Committee, and I'm here tonight with some other members of our committee, Paul Easy, Jean Vator, Lee Leach, and Selectman Donnelly is our chairman, so he's a member too. We're here to talk about our winter concerts that are starting later this month. We do 4 concerts in the winter. I'll go through the schedule. Starting on January 25th, we have the She-Bop Swing Orchestra. They were new to our summer series this year and well-liked, so we brought them back. Returning, we have the Roy Scott Big Band on February 1st. So they're always a crowd favorite. One of our longtime favorites, Dan Gable and his orchestra, are coming back on February 8th, which is Super Bowl Sunday. We guarantee to get you home in time to see the Patriots play, so no worries about that. And then February 15th, we end the season with the Bare Bones Big Band this year. All the concerts are at the Norwood High School from 2 to 4 p.m. They're inside, so we have less worries about weather, but if the roads are bad or it's a big snowstorm, we will post on social media, all the town social media and websites that, the concert's been canceled, if that happens. But we do have a new member on our committee who's a meteorologist and has promised us that we would have good weather all 4 weeks. Let me just quickly run through the rest of the committee members. Lisa O'Leary, Olga Abdella, Kelly Farwell, Dorothy Prevor, Kevin Broderick, Michael Rosen, Joe Della Carpini, Tony Bazzuco, sorry Tony, I should have mentioned you earlier, and Pat Schick are all the other members of our committee. And I'll turn it over to Paul to say a few words about our sponsors.
Oh, thank you, David. It's a pleasure always to, I feel like I was 40 years old when we started on this, and we're heading towards 70. I'm heading towards 70, so it's been a long time on this committee. But in any event, it's a pleasure to be here. So I just want to take a moment and acknowledge the sponsors, because if the sponsors didn't write a check to make this program successful, we wouldn't be here tonight. So first, let's start with the Friends category. Central Dental, the committee to elect Bob Donnelly, David Hearn, attorney, Norwood Democratic Town Committee, Norwood Engineering, Norwood Republican Town Committee, Norwood Rotary Club, Poria Sales and Service, Roach Brothers, Gene Vatour. And then we have the Bronze Batons, Castle Island Brewing, Central Motors of Norwood, Dempsey Insurance, Maya Dana and Sons, and the Norwood Space Center, David Dupree. And then the Silver Batons, A1, A13 Architects, the Norwood Women's Community Committee. They always give big and they're always consistent with us. A special thank you to them. One Local Bank. And then we have Diane Shelby at Rojo Company, Rockland Trust, One Bistro, Hobbsbrook Real Estate LLC, the Norwood Firefighters, Local 1631, Norwood Women's Club, Dedham Savings, and the Bank of Canton. And a big thank you to when the people receive this program, they're going to see snowflakes next to certain names. Well, those snowflakes are people that are not only given just to the summer, but they're also giving to the winter. So that's a real special sponsor. And that's the Bank of Canton, Dedham Savings, the Norwood Women's Club, and One Local Bank. Basically, thank you to the committee, the Board of Selectmen that's always there for us. And I also would like to thank, who's in the room for the first, Jeff Sullivan, who's the new owner of the Norwood Record. I can personally thank him because he prints this for no charge, and he inserts it in the Norwood Record.
Nice.
And that's great for the townspeople. So Jeff, thank you very much for doing that for all these years. That's basically all I have to say. Thank you.
Awesome. Is there anything else before I turn it over to the board?
Gene or Lee, anything? I think we're good.
All right, well, I will open it up to the board for questions or comments.
Go ahead, go first,
Can you
Matt.
start, Mr. Lane?
Oh, sure. Thank you, Madam Chairman. Thank you for being here. As always, it's a delight when you come in. This is one of the things that we look forward to. It's such a great tradition. Thank you for all the work that you do, and thank you to the sponsors. Yeah, I've been there a few times. It's an excellent program, and it's really appreciated. So, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Thank you, committee. You're a great group to work with. I can attest to that. I just want to send out a special thank you to our long-term volunteer, Pat Schick, who is such a dedicated volunteer in so many things, including our concert committee, and she's unable to be here this evening, but we do wish her well, and we miss her. So thank you, Pat. And I too want to thank Jeff and the Norwood Record for the publicity that you provide by putting out this program, which will also be on the town Facebook page and available at Town Hall as well. And finally, I'd like to thank Norwood Community Media, looking right at you now, Kiki, but NCM is always there. For those folks who cannot make the concert on Sunday afternoons, we have the benefit of being able to see those concerts on NCM pretty promptly after the concert has happened, so thank you as well. Other than that, thanks again for the committee members for all the work you've done over the years. And Paul, I really think you started when you were in first grade.
Thank you.
Mr. Sett.
On top of Bob's comments, Paul, I remember we roped you in at the South Norwood Committee to get you to be chairman of that event years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it was 40, but it was at least 30.
Okay.
I've been on the fishing derby for 37 years, so, and Dave and the committee, you guys have been there for all these years and helping out with Pat. Great program, just keep going.
Thank you.
Don't stop. You're too old to stop now.
Right.
Keep going. That's it, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And then I also would like to extend my gratitude. This is such a great event. I know that I and my friends and family enjoy it. We often carpool together as an activity in the wintertime, which is nice because in the wintertime it's hard to get out and socialize with folks. I have a friend moving back to town, and we're planning that's one of the first things they get to do when they move back is go to the winter concerts. So we're really looking forward to them. So again, we're just super grateful and really excited about the program for this year. So thank you so much for coming in to see us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, and we'll see you all starting on the 25th at 2 o'clock at the high school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Thank you. Take
See
care.
you.
So there is a late agenda item on the list, but we also will have a second late agenda item. Mr. Sad has an item for us to add, and what I'd like to do is essentially just procedurally add it. It'll come in as item 4.7, and then we'll just go back to the top of the list and chip away. So if you want to go ahead and describe the item a little bit for us, Mr. Sad.
Henry Sequeira, a longtime South Node member and a resident of South Node. I've known him for almost 50 years from when he came over from Portugal. Became dog officer 34 years ago. So he's been the safety officer for the dogs down at the animal shelter, and we thought it'd be a great gesture to, and the board, about getting the building named after Henry Sequeira building. So I'd like to make a motion if you'd like, or just throw it on the table.
We can put it on as an item, and then we'll do some deliberation at
Perfect.
the end.
All right, thank you.
So just making sure that we had it on there. But first, we're going to try to get done with a couple other items. Take memoranda, just to get that over with.
I'll make a motion that we file 6.1, 6.2, and 6.3 memoranda items for this evening.
All right, motion made by Mr. Donnelly, seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous. And then consent agenda, which I'll just go ahead and list off here real quick. We have donations, the Simone Foundation, which will need to be taken under Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53A. We also have LaRusso Materials Corporation, which is item 5.1.2. We have some town common requests. We have 5.2.1, which is National Night Out, 5.2.2, the Summer Concert Series, and then we have the 5.3, is that all consent agenda? Yeah, cemetery deeds, 5.3, 5.4, some sign placement, which is the 5.4.1 for Hale Education, 5.5, Morse House use, and that's a 5.5.1 Progress Norwood signature event at the Morse House, and then a banner placement, which is 5.6.1 Department of Public Works. This is for the Household Hazardous Waste Recycling Days. 5.7, we have the NHS softball car wash, and then we have a one-day liquor permit from Hometown Arcade, 5.8.1. Do I have a motion for consent agenda?
So moved.
If I
Go
could
ahead.
ask for a hold on 5.11
Okay,
and 5.51.
5.5.1. Any other holds?
No, I just want to speak also on the Simone Foundation.
Okay,
5.1,
all right, so we'll pull,
yeah.
we'll pop those guys out. Any other holds?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, so motion to approve everything that was not held made by Mr. Sad. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Lane. It's okay.
Thanks, Bob.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous. Okay, so we will pull those two out of the lineup, and I'll swing back around to them here a little later. All right.
On 5.111, the Simone Foundation,
Mhm.
I just thought we probably, to your earlier point, Madam Chair, is just to make this motion to accept a donation from the Simone Foundation pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53A, just to separate it from the consent agenda, just to make that specific reference.
Excellent.
So I'll put that in the form of a motion.
Okay.
To accept the Simone Foundation donation pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53A.
Okay. Motion made by Mr. Donnelly,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Lane.
Can
Anything
I
further?
I'd like to discuss and personally thank Matt McDonald and the entire Simone family and foundation, and Betty. We worked a little bit hard with them, but they came through with a sizable check, and similar to the Bach Foundation. So thank you to all, and keep up the good work. That's it, Madam Chair.
All right. With that, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous. All right, so that takes care of that guy.
Madam Chair, is there somebody from the board that just wants to work with me to put just a little parameters around, sort of proposal of the board about
Yes.
parameters about how we want to, how the board would want to take that up in the future?
Absolutely.
You don't have to let me know tonight, but if anyone's interested,
We
they
can
can
make
reach
a
out to
motion
you.
to
Yeah.
just, to appoint a subcommittee to work with Mr.
I'll work with
Zucker.
Tony if he buys me a coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll buy you coffee. Not how we're going to spend that money, but my understanding is going to be an annual
The structure,
donation.
yeah.
Just like how are we going to go about it as time goes on?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds great. All right, with that, our next appointment.
Oh, just on,
sure.
just on 5.5, because I did ask to hold that, and I'll put forward a motion to approve it. I just want to highlight that this is an annual event that I just thought we wanted to call out just for, we're in the election period here in Norwood. Our elections are April the 6th of this year, Monday. And candidates are advised to see the town clerk for nomination papers and so forth, put your name forward. If you choose to run for any of the offices, this is an annual event at the Morse House for signatures. Anybody can come with their nomination papers, and it's open to any candidate who wants to come and solicit nomination signatures. It's being held on, I think it's a Sunday, February the 1st, 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. at Morse House. And just wanted to make that specific reference. Otherwise, Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the permit request for the Morse House for that date and time.
I'll second.
Motion made by Mr. Donnelly, seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous. All right, with that, we have our appointment tonight with several members of our public safety arm of things. As a reminder, we'll introduce ourselves for the benefit of the public record, but thanks so much for coming in to see us tonight. And I believe tonight, let's go ahead and start with Chief Patton.
All right. The fire chief wanted to start first. but
Oh, no.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want. If we feel
I'm
we
just
want to
teasing.
start with fire, we can.
So I'll just give you a quick activity snapshot for the month. We had 5,200 calls for service roughly. Obviously another high volume month, same as always. And this is going back through December. Traffic enforcement's been our point of emphasis recently. We're trying to follow up with traffic citation issuance, on a basis that really deals with need. We're getting a lot of our neighbors, they'll make a complaint about certain streets here or there, and we'll go ahead and do enforcement in those areas. So we issued 562 citations, 105 warnings, showing that the officers are using their discretion as part of the process to make sure that, if it's a first-time offender, things like that. 468 parking tickets issued during the month. Overnight parking was the majority, but we had a lot of handicapped as well as sidewalk blocking. That's been another point of emphasis that we've had from the community about people parking on sidewalks, and then they have to walk out into the street, things along those lines. We had 107 motor vehicle accidents that we responded to, and nothing too serious, but it's a fairly regular scenario for us. 38 arrests over the course of the month. We're wrapping up a series of major cases that you're all aware of. All those major cases over the last few months that we've had have all been solved. Our Detective Bureau has done a great job. They've done a series of search warrants, made arrests. The district attorney's working on some other parts of those cases, but they're in the process. So they've all been solved. We've really had some very effective response to a lot of that. Training total, 1,572 hours worth of training for our department in the month of December. Really a good push. We had training for CPR, firearms, SWAT, and then a series of our instructor certifications. As you know, we do all of our training in-house, and we send our officers out to become instructors, and then they become subject matter experts, and then they bring it back to the police department. So it's very helpful. Maintaining a real tight-knit relationship with the schools. I met with the school department today in regards to talking about their emergency planning situation. Our two SROs are still very active, really making good progress in the schools. They did a narcotics sweep with the dogs last month, and nothing turned up, which is great. The kids know that they're subject to that, and we don't really have any problems, but we continue to do that as a preventative measure. And we have it down pretty pat. We bring in 8, 10, 12 dogs, whatever it takes, run through the building very quickly, and it's as little disruption as possible in the school day. Our SROs are also dealing with a lot of mental health and substance abuse. Our patrol officers are dealing with a lot of mental health and substance abuse issues on a regular basis. That's kind of the biggest thing that we deal with day to day. We have 3 new hires, all lateral transfers over the last period of time. 1 from Michigan, 1 from North Carolina, and 1 from Minnesota. We just cleared one of them out of field training, so he's full-time on the road right now. They all had connections to this area, so when they wanted to come back this way, Norwood ended up being a good spot for them, and we're very pleased because we can get an officer on the road much quicker than we could by sending him through the academy, which is probably a 12-month process compared to 3 to 4 months. And then we also are getting officers that are trained and have some experience as opposed to fresh out of the academy, where it takes them a long time to get their feet under them. I think your police department is showing good enforcement effort, and the officers are showing a lot of good discretion. We're still making a lot of community outreach, as I'm sure you see with the officers out walking the beat. Over the holiday period, we had 2 during the afternoons going out and trying to make contact with people, and we're just trying to be out there in the community as much as we can. So that's it.
Excellent. Now, rather than going right to questions, what I'd like to do is continue down the line because we have our guests here from Holbrook, if that's all right with the rest of the board. Great.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, town manager. My name's Steve Hook. I'm the communications director at the Holbrook Regional Emergency Communications Center. Just want to take a minute and introduce Katie Sylvia. She's our new assistant director. She's the number 2 in command, and she brings a lot of experience to, she's been in this profession for a long time, and she brings a lot of experience. So, good evening. So I just wanted to review, Norwood has been part of the regional center for the last 2.5 years, a little over 2.5 years now. I will say that I have, weekly or sometimes daily conversations with both chiefs and the town manager. Exceptional. Norwood is an exceptional partner, so I appreciate that. Just in the last 2.5 years, we've invested $9.7 million in infrastructure improvements in town. So that is the biggest one is radio infrastructure improvement, which is mostly completed. We're still working on some stuff, but that's a new radio system for police and fire, new subscriber units, mobiles, portables, microwave connectivity, MDTs for police and fire, station alerting upgrades. There's a lot going on, and we've really invested a lot into the safety, not only of the first responders, but the residents themselves. So, and we're going to continue to do that. The grant is a yearly grant, and as we need to upgrade things, we'll do that. As far as stats, I'm just going to mention that in 2025, we took 11,250 911 calls from the town of Norwood. That represents 12.7% of our call volume. As you know, there are many more calls for service. Not everything comes in through 911. There's business line calls and officer-initiated calls and people walking into the station and fire alarm boxes and stuff like that. So that's relatively a small number compared to the call volume in Norwood. The agency, my agency as a whole, you probably know we dispatch 14 communities now. We are growing. In 2025, we answered 80,000 911 calls, over 80,000 911 calls, and had 237,000 calls for service. So Norwood is our busiest community. So again, you guys have been exceptional partners, and I'll be happy to answer any questions at the end.
Excellent,
Thank
thank you. And then we'll go ahead and go over to Fireside.
Thank you. Thank you and good evening to everyone. First, I'd like to say thank you to all of our fire department personnel for their dedication and commitment to the town over the past year. They don't hear it from me very often at the station because we're all scattered about, but I just want to say that out publicly. Our call volume for last year was 7,270, which is again our highest year. Last year, we surpassed last year by about 140 runs. Our fire prevention division did 6,506 inspections for a total calls for service of 13,766. Mutual aid, which has been a big topic over the past year with me, continues to be very high. We had a total of 857 mutual aid calls, 215 that we gave out, and 642 that came here to Norwood. On the training side of things, we have switched over to NERIS, which is the new national reporting system. We did that switch over at the end of November. It is going well, a little bit better than we had anticipated. So far so good on that. The deputies and myself attended a seminar from the Southern New England Fire Chiefs at Gillette Stadium. It was a leadership seminar on a Friday, and it was very good seminar and very well attended. And with this week here, we started with our ice rescue training. That'll take place over the next couple of days and wrap that up. Fire Prevention Division, as I mentioned earlier, has been very busy, but they've also been very active going through the reports that we receive from all of our vendors, and they've been able to identify some deficiencies in some of those reports and act on them. So, like I said, they're very active. I have 3 members in that, working in that division, and they've done some very nice work. EMS, the new deputy has been working on that, and one of the first initiatives that I gave him was putting ALS equipment on our front engine and our ladder truck. We're in the process of doing that right now. We're still a couple of weeks out before we can implement that. Our gear dryers that we've had, they're brand new, replacing the older gear dryers, which had an 8-hour drying time. The new ones have a 4-hour drying time. Those were installed by Facilities last week, and that is, we're very thankful for that. The Simone Foundation, we were fortunate enough to receive some money from them for a forcible entry prop. That has been ordered and will be at the station in probably a month or so, and that'll help with training for forcible entry. Last week, the last couple of weeks actually, we've been working since we last met here on the staffing study and preparing the presentation that we'll be doing for you in a couple of weeks. So we've been working with Tony's office on that. And we currently have 1 vacancy that we have posted for, and we hope to be filling in the near future.
Excellent. All right, I will now go ahead and turn things over to the board. Who would like to start? Mr. Sad.
I want to Happy New Year to all. Great job, Chris, with your police force. I had an incident myself with somebody on the road the other day, and like that, they took care of it. They were right there, so you guys know what you're doing. And Chief, we'll see you on the ice pretty soon, ice fishing.
Maybe.
Okay. That's it. Keep up the great job, both of you.
I don't think ice training is ice fishing.
No, well, I'm gonna be out there. I want to know that somebody can save me.
Yes, yes.
That's it, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Oh,
Mr.
thank you,
O'Donnell?
Madam Chair. Yeah, just some questions and comments for all 3 of you in the interest of fairness. First of all, Chief Patton, congratulations to your staff and to you regarding the solving of these recent incidents. You've done a great job keeping us well informed, not only of the extent of the problems and the cases you were dealing with, but the challenges that were associated with it. And had you told me at the time of the investigations that these cases would have been solved, I would have been astounded. So I think it's something for us to be proud of, because there's a lot of obstacles to solving these cases, and your staff did it. So kudos to them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Director Hook, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope things are well.
Good evening.
And 14 communities. I was just wondering, how many did you start with when the center opened up?
1.
One. I figured. How many were communities did you serve when we entered into it at the time?
It's a good question. I would say probably 9.
They're up to 14 now.
Yeah.
That's great. We know that Chief Bailey has done a great job keeping us informed. regarding the, what we're experiencing is the escalating increase, if you will, of calls, both fire and EMS. Has that had an impact on your staff in terms of your ability to keep up with that call volume? I mean, what are the challenges involved with your center in terms of dealing with the rise in calls that we're experiencing?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, to answer that, you know, it all, no disrespect, chiefs, it all starts with us, right? So we take the call, we dispatch the appropriate response. So I think as they get busier, we certainly get busier as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we are adequately staffed. We have plenty of staffing. We have 15 or 16 people on, just telecommunicators on a shift.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't include the command staff and the trainers and IT and everybody else that goes along with that. You know, during the day I might have 23, 24, 25 people working. So we certainly can handle that kind of call volume.
And currently, Norwood represents the highest percentage of calls for the dispatch center.
Correct.
Just out of curiosity, who's number 2?
Stoughton.
Stoughton,
Mm.
okay. All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I'm glad you emphasized as well the $9.7 million in investment through the grants through the state. And that's, you know, just so everybody who's watching us know, that's $9.7 million that we've gotten in investment in equipment that we did not have to pay for solely ourselves. And I think that's one of the bigger advantages of being part of the dispatch center. So thank you very much for that. And Chief Bailey, really looking forward to, we've had a great discussion with the consultant last month, looking forward to working with you and Tony and with the committee at the board on that staffing study. You noted that you've been working on ALS equipment on the fire trucks and engines. By recollection, was that one of the recommendations coming out of the consultant report, if I remember
It
right?
is mentioned in there, yes.
Okay, and we've already accomplished it?
Proactively.
That's beautiful.
We stepped on that and started ahead to get ahead of that, so.
Great. And just out of, just so everybody knows, what kind of advantages does the fact that you have ALS equipment on the fire truck and the engines?
So what that'll enable us to do is to actually treat the patient at the ALS level prior to a mutual aid ambulance coming to us and/or our ambulance on a delay from the hospital. So it'll allow us to initiate patient care much at a higher level.
That's great. And the ambulances will then transport that?
That's correct.
Okay, beautiful. That's great. I'm glad to hear that you were proactive in implementing that particular item from the report. I appreciate that. Madam Chair, that's all the questions and comments I had. Thank you all for your input and your information.
Mr. Lane?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Selectman Donnelly stole a few of my questions.
Oh.
But
I know the feeling.
I expected. But
Ask them again.
So, Director Hook, while we have you here, you had mentioned that Norwood is an exceptional partner. If you could expand on that, sort of like what makes Norwood an exceptional partner, some of the things that we do, it'd be nice to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think your leadership team, right? So it's the 2 chiefs and the town manager. You know, issues arise, and we certainly have communication lines, and we address any issues that may happen or concerns or, you know, positivity moving forward. So I think just the communication between the town and the departments is exceptional.
That's great. That's great to hear. Yeah, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. That's
All
it,
right.
Madam Chairman.
And then for my part, I've only got 2 things. I will start with one for Director Hook, which is it's
I'm on
really
the hot seat tonight.
one of the things that I have not gotten the opportunity yet to do is to pay a visit, because I would be especially interested now that you've scaled up so much to 14 communities. I would love to get a look, and so at some point I'd like to reach out and take a little field trip to see how things are going. Because I've just heard nothing but good things, so I've been excited to try to make some scheduling happen so that I can get out and take a visit.
Absolutely. So we are very proud of the facility and the operation. So we always welcome anybody to come in. You know, feel free to reach out to me, Madam Chair, or Assistant Director, and more than happy. Anybody.
Excellent, excellent. We're very, very pleased by the results. And then for Chief Padden, one of the questions I had is a little bit more about the overnight parking, the winter parking. Because I had a question from a resident about, and I'll I'll send along on the side the specific area of town that they're talking about, where they felt like people were sort of not deterred enough currently with the winter parking enforcement. And so I just had a question about, do we have any difficulties with sort of looping back around to the same parts of town? Like, or do we find that we get pulled away on other calls because we have such a high call volume, obviously, right now? Do you feel like there's any interference there with that enforcement?
Yeah, that's always, I mean, it's a secondary priority for the officers at night.
Yeah.
You know, we have our guys out on the midnight shift if they're not answering calls. And, you know, a call can take 2 minutes to 2.5 hours, so it depends on the area. You know, they're out, you know, they're checking buildings to make sure people aren't breaking into buildings. They're also trying to get overnight parking done. So yeah, they circle through and then they'll sweep through again. And you know, we definitely would love to have more people on the midnight shift having the ability to get out there and you know, and we also want to be visible too, right? So you know, on our 2 highway cars on area A and B, which is the way we lay it out, you know, we want them visible out on the highways because that's where we get a lot of our crime at night. People coming off the highway and breaking into cars and things like that. So yeah, it's a balancing act for sure.
Great. Well, like I said, I don't need to type the meeting tonight with the specifics, but I'll send you that area that maybe we can take a closer look and just see if there's something we can do to discourage people from doing that behavior. Because it's, as a reminder, it's not an appearance thing, it's a safety thing. If somebody's got their car parked there, if we have a big snowstorm, you know, plow hits that car or someone is trying to get to that car, we don't want people parking in the winter on the streets like that. So.
Yeah, this last storm, we put out a reverse 911 call advising people that would be towing cars and worked with DPW. Mark Ryan had given me a call and says, hey, what can we do? And, you know, I said, well, we'll do we'll put it out on social media, we'll put a reverse 911 call out, because the last few winters have been pretty mild, and I think people kind of got out of the habit of having to get off the road. And it really did slow down their plow operations. So we're going to try and continue to do that. When he reaches out, we'll put out a reverse 911, remind people, and it's fair warning. You know, if you've been told, you've been told. So.
Great. All right. Any further items? Because otherwise, then I can let you all get out of here early tonight. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in. Excellent. It's always a pleasure.
You're welcome, Assistant Director.
Yes.
Good luck.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming to see us. All right. So let's come down and start chewing away through new business. So we'll start with item 4.1. This is the common victular license. This is, I believe it's pronounced Gymkhana, Inc. Application for license for a restaurant at 1381 Boston Providence Highway. It's the former location of Honest Restaurant.
Motion to approve?
Motion made by Mr. Sad.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous. Now we have item 4.2. This is a VIF license. This is a change of ownership name only, and this is for MC LLC. Just making application for change of ownership name only. It was formerly known as Team Car Care EAS LLC, Jiffy Lube, and the new ownership name will be MC LLC, doing business as Jiffy Lube, number 1308, located at 770 Boston Providence Highway. All amounts of combustible fluids and locations of said fluids will remain the same.
I'll make a motion to approve the change of ownership on the license.
All right, motion made by Mr. Donnelly, seconded by Mr. Sad. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous. All right, item 4.3. This is the Old Colonial Cafe. Is it Gemma or Gemma?
Gemma.
Gemma. Old Colonial Cafe, Gemma Kitchen and Bar, Inc. at 171 Manhattan Street. And this is an amendment to the lease. Mr. Manager, did you want to take this one a little bit?
Yes, sure, thank you. Excuse me, thank you, Madam Chair. The new owners of the business at the OCC, Gemma Kitchen and Bar, have asked if the board would be willing to consider forbearing the next 3 months of rent and spreading that out over the following 48 months while they're under construction. So they're going to be under construction for about 90 days. The lease provisions allow the board to amend the lease in that fashion. We can't change, obviously, the amount collected. So it would just say no charge for 3 months, and then that gets added over the next 48 months. The benefit to the town, other than we're a landlord, we want the business to be successful. If we don't have a successful business, we don't have a successful lease. They are doing some work to the building. Some of it is cosmetic, but in particular, both bathrooms on the ground level and the second level are getting renovated. They're being brought up to code, which is something that the building did need. So we are getting a benefit. And again, we're getting the same amount of money at the end of the lease. It's just rearranging the process of getting there to help their cash flow while they're under construction.
All right, any questions? What's the appetite of the board for forbearance?
Yeah,
Mr.
Madam Chairman, I appreciate the memo. I personally think it's fine, and to all the points that Mr. Manager said, it benefits the town. It's not a ton of money. We're going to get it back. We don't have to go after them for interest and things like that. So I think it's quite reasonable. So I would vote to recommend.
Okay. Mr. Sad?
Second.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. I will make a motion.
Oh.
No, you're right, Mr. Shad. I will make a motion to accept the lease amendment as written in the staff memo from the town manager.
Okay. Motion made by Mr. Lane and Mr. Sabbs, and moved to second. Any further questions or comments about the concept?
No, I agree with it. I think Mr. Mizuko and Mr. Lane have made good points, and we made it when they were here last month. We do want the business to be successful. It's a building we own in a very primary downtown location, so I think it's the right thing to do. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, so motion made by Mr. Lane and seconded by Mr. Sad. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. All right, we also have here item 4.4. This is the Traffic Safety Advisory Committee recommendations. So one of the recommendations is to install signage and pavement markings stating "Do not block driveway" at 22 Everett Street. And then item 2, the recommendation is to designate a handicap parking space at the first space on the left-hand side of Day Street. Do I have a motion on item 4.4?
I'll make a motion to approve the recommendations of the Traffic Safety Advisory Committee as submitted.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Donnelly.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous.
And I think this may be the first time we're actually putting a sign on next to a building that is not in Norwood. This is a learning for me that the street is our responsibility, although the building itself is in Westwood.
All right, so now we come to item 4.5, which is setting date for the May special and the annual town meetings. This current proposed dates we have here are Monday, May 11th, 2026 for night 1, and if it's necessary, Thursday, May the 14th, 2026 for night 2, if we so need it. Anybody have concerns about those dates?
I think no, not at all. I think the May date for the annual is pretty well set. Is it not in our charter?
Yeah, these are sort of set by charter, so
Right.
even though we vote to set the town meeting for said time, it's sort of set by charter.
Exactly.
We're not having a March town meeting, as you know, we more or less clarified that at some point in December, but there's no March town meeting, so the annual, and then we always have a special with it, will be based on the charter dates.
Great. So I will take a formal motion then on that.
I move to set the dates as described on the agenda this evening for the May annual and special town meetings. Monday, May 11th, 2026 for night 1, and Thursday, May 14th, town meeting, night 2, if needed.
All right, motion made by Mr. Donnelly, second by Mr. Sad. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. All right, so now we're going to come down to a late agenda item. And regrettably, we received a letter of resignation from Selectman Plasko. And so I'm going to read the following statement from Mr. Plasko. Hopefully I can read it with as much heart as I'm sure he would read it if he were here. So Mr. Plasko said the following: "It is with deep regret and a heavy heart that I announce my resignation from the Norwood Board of Selectmen, effective April 3rd, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. It was not an easy decision to make. Anyone who knows me knows that I do not take my commitment to this town lightly. However, at this time, due to health considerations, I must focus my energy on my health and prioritize the time I spend with my family, the people who have stood by me throughout every late-night meeting and challenges we faced as a town. As for my commitment to community, I have dedicated over 50 years to being actively involved in our local government. The community has been at the center of my life. I wish to thank my colleagues on the board, present and past, the town's dedicated town staff, and so many other volunteers. It has been a privilege of a lifetime to serve alongside you. I am incredibly proud of the work we have done together to keep Norwood strong, stable, and a wonderful place to call home. With deep gratitude and love for our community, Bill. So what this would mean is that Selectman Plasko would continue as a member of the board until April. And so I will be accepting a motion that we need to make formally to advise the town clerk, which I believe Selectman Lane is prepared to make.
Yes, Madam Chairman. A motion to advise the town clerk that the Board of Selectmen will vote to instruct her that the remaining year left on Mr. Plasko's term shall be placed on the April 6th, 2026 town election.
All right, motion made by Mr. Lane,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Donnelly. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous, and we are obviously deeply, deeply grateful to Mr. Plasko for his long service to the town. He's been so helpful to those of us that are newer on the board, there to sort of talk us through advice about procedural matters or different things to keep in mind. So, but I know that he will still be out there watching closely, and so
He is still a member of our board through April, which we
Exactly.
truly appreciate.
exactly. So we're just again really, you know, he sends his apologies that he couldn't be here in person tonight for this, but obviously, like he says, got to put the right priorities forward. So. Anything further on that item before we move to the next item? Because it's special, I get it.
No, I just want to say Bill served this town proudly and supportedly as a true Mustang, and I've known Bill for almost 45 years through the J.C.'s, and his work at the town hall, we'll always remember him. He was a great leader.
Absolutely. But so he will continue with me as vice chair. He's still been able to support me in that role, so I don't foresee that changing until the actual date of his resignation kicks in, which, as we said, won't be until April 3rd.
And Madam Chair, just I would add too, the hope is that he would attend a future meeting.
Yes.
And I think that would be an appropriate time for us to show our thanks and gratitude for Mr. Plasko. So we'll have a chance to expand on the things that Mr. Sad and that you've said. So
We're going to want to embarrass him when he's here.
Correct.
yes,
There will
much
be no
embarrassed,
escape.
but yeah, you know, he's pretty irreplaceable and just so dedicated. So
Absolutely.
I would concur and just to also just thank Mr. Plasko. We'll have time to thank him before his term is ended, but just the content of the letter that he sent us today and the expressions of his service. And I know it's a really hard thing for someone like Mr. Plasko to do, because he absolutely loves being on this board. He absolutely loves this community. And for me, I recognize that it's a difficult decision for him to make. But as always, he makes a decision where he's balancing the needs of the community and his needs as well. And as he always does, he comes to the right decision and conclusion. Health and family always come first. So more to say about Bill in the future, but thank you, Bill, for your letter. We really appreciate the heads up.
Absolutely. All right. So now we can move to our other late agenda item 4.7. This is deliberating on the building naming. So does anybody require further details? It seemed pretty straightforward to me, but is there any procedural aspects of that kind of request, the naming of the building?
No, if the board wants to, I mean, technically you talked about adding to the agenda, technically 2 votes, move to add it to the agenda and then move to approve it.
Great.
Maybe we defer to Mike to actually put the motion
I'd like to
forward.
make a motion that we approve the name of the building and put it on the agenda.
All right, so motion made to put it on the agenda, and we'll take the putting it on the agenda formally first. So motion made by Mr. Sad, seconded by
second.
Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous. And then on the actual matter, pleasure of the board.
Mr. Sad, would you like to make the motion to name the
I'd
building?
like to make a
formally?
motion that we name the building after Henry Secura, after all his wonderful career years at Norwood.
Even though it's good to name the animal control building after Henry.
Shelter, yeah.
Yes.
I'll second.
All right, motion made by Mr. Sad, seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous.
Thank you,
All
Madam
right.
Chair. And board.
I believe we are down to managers update, because I don't think I missed any.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple of items. As the board is aware, the elevator is down in this building. We may be meeting in this room for several weeks. We've been given an initial estimate of several weeks of repair time. There's some extensive work they apparently need to do, despite the fact that that elevator is 6 years old. So we're not happy with that, but this floor of the building is ADA accessible, so that's why we'll continue to meet here at least for several more weeks. We may have to do some arrangements. Anyone in the public coming to the building, if you're not able to access the clerk's office, just come down here, let us know on this floor. They will come down and provide any services that you need. Same thing with the assessor's office. One item, I handed the board just an article. Sometimes the legislature sees perennial bill files where every year groups try to file certain bills for certain reasons. One that always comes up is changing the pilot or changing the amount of money that the MWRA, which is our water source, pays to some of the communities in Western Mass. They're obviously making a big pitch this year for more money from the MWRA. I would recommend the board oppose it and send a letter both into our delegation and to the various legislative agencies and the MWRA, letting them know we do oppose it. It is simply raising water rates in the greater Boston area to provide tax relief in Western Mass, which those are our water rates. So that's not, we understand we're one Commonwealth, but it's not in our interest. So I just ask that the board consider whether they want to oppose that and have us send some draft letters as such. We have our public safety workshop next week. That'll be in this room. And if anyone has any questions ahead of time, just try to send them in. We'll try to get them answered as early as we can. Similar, we're meeting with our auditors the end of January. Once we've provided all that information, and if you have any questions ahead of time, it's always great because they can just bring them up at the meeting. Particularly at that session, I will be there with both chiefs. I will probably, for expediency's sake, take us through a presentation as we dive into more of the individual items that are making up that total ask and what they will do and how they will work. And then obviously questions with the chiefs, and we'll have some other staff there as well. But anything you want to ask ahead of time, whether it's directly related to the specific tax increase ask or just any of the questions you've ever had about how fire or police work or how they do anything, since it all relates, just please, by all means, let us know ahead of time, but we'll have plenty of time at that workshop. We've not done a workshop meeting in quite a while here. So really what it is, it's a single topic item. They're usually a little bit more informal, and it's just meant for a presentation and back and forth, and that is the sole purpose of what we're here for, a chance to really work the item. So maybe we'll do a few more of them over the course of the next year, but for now that will be the one item, no minutes, no anything else on it, just so we can work on that item, and it's designed to be a little bit more free-flowing. Dan Morrissey has been promoted to Superintendent of Light for Norwood Light. I'm sure no surprise there, but Dan has been with us for many years, and even though we will miss Kevin, who retired earlier this month, we are happy to have Dan stepping in and filling his shoes, and we think Dan will do as great as Kevin did. Willett Parkway next year, we're going to be able to add some sidewalks to. We were able to get, it's part of our Complete Streets grant and our Complete Streets program. And I just, for the board's edification, I know everyone's aware of this, but subdivisions and when residential development goes in, that pays for the sidewalks on those streets. The town then accepts the street and the sidewalk and pays for them in perpetuity. We do have a couple of streets in town that don't have sidewalk access, and usually the reason is that the development wasn't, in this particular case, those houses were all part of one lot that were sort of sold off bit by bit over time, and it never went through proper subdivision review. So it's hard for us to necessarily allocate road money to an area where, in terms of being equitable, other developers, other homeowners have paid for their sidewalks and then the town maintains in perpetuity. But the state does have a Complete Streets program. It's only funded every 4 years, unfortunately. So we come up with a plan that has all different sidewalks and streets in town that don't necessarily have sidewalks that should. This is one of them. It's actually adjacent to a school. So when you look at it just from a sort of a civil engineering standpoint, it's kind of crazy that there's not one there. But this is the case of, every couple of years a lot got sold off and it never went through subdivision review. So we're trying to also get the engineering money for that piece. It's about a $400,000 project, but we should be able to construct that next spring, which will be good. It's adding a sidewalk where one is needed. And then on Saturday, April 11th, just a very early notice, that's when we're doing our annual elected and appointed officials training. We're now, I think, year 3 or 4 into it. We cover all the really exciting stuff like the open meeting law, minute taking, how to conduct yourself on a board, the conflict of interest law. It doesn't count as your conflict of interest training that everyone has to do, which is a reminder that was due at the end of January. But we've really built it up over a few years. It's a great discussion that we get to have on how the conflict of interest law works, how open meeting law works, how executive session works, how different boards and committees sort of interact with town staff and the state and the administration and whatnot. So it's been a great program. We get 20 or 30 officials every year to it. It's open to the public if somebody wants to come and really learn about it. But I just encourage, even if you haven't been in a few years, to come and join us on that morning on the 11th. It's always a good little event, and people, I think, get a lot out of it. And I believe that is all I have at the moment.
All right. We'll move to Selectmen's addenda. Let's start on my right with Mr. Lane.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'll be brief. I just want to say, again, wishing Mr. Plasko good health in this year. And I'm going to see him tomorrow, and I'm sure I'll extend gratitude from the board. And Mr. Mizuko mentioned, but congratulations to Kevin Shaughnessy, whose last day was on Monday, and for a great career. How long was he at Norwood Light?
I believe it was 40 or just over 40 years.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
And he's only like 50. So
Yeah.
He started young.
He started very young.
And obviously, good luck to Dan Morsey, who's great. And so it's a really good example of having the folks in place to make a smooth transition.
Great example of succession planning.
Yeah. So you didn't have anything to do with it, but
well, and I will give previous boards and my predecessor credit. I mean, we had Jim Collins, who served his career
Right.
with us,
Yeah.
followed by Kevin, who served his career with us.
Yeah.
Dan, who served his career with
which
us.
probably doesn't happen in every town. So
Right.
I really
No,
appreciate it.
And we'll probably have somebody who served their career with us after that. So we're very fortunate. We have a fantastic light department. Kevin did a great job in his time. I think he was superintendent 6 years, maybe.
Mhm.
It went by quickly, but we've been very
Right.
fortunate. And
And Dan will be great.
Dan's going to do a great job. Yep. Kevin really put us in a great financial position. If you look at where we were 5 or 6 years ago, we're going strong, and I think Dan will take it to that next level too. So
Yeah.
all
great
good stuff.
That's it, Madam Chairman.
Thank you very much. Mr. Donnelly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of things. Also, congratulations. It's bittersweet when folks of long service retire, because we miss their service and their contributions, but wish them well in their retirement. And I found out at the middle school building committee that Mr. Paul Riccardi is also retiring the end of the month, and so those are 2 key managers, director level managers here at the town, who we're going to miss and wish them well in retirement. So congratulations, Kevin, and to Paul. Just a couple of updates. The board members will recall that we did run for almost a 2-year period, maybe an 18-month period, a food composting pilot, which ended, and we were able to retain approximately 330 of the 700 participants in curbside pickup. 335 chose to stay on a private pay basis, which is good, which availed Norwood folks choosing to compost to discounted rates from our provider, our vendor, Black Earth Compost. Black Earth has a system where the more residents that participates, the lower the pickup rate is, and working with Mr. Ryan from DPW and our Black Earth partners, we have arranged for the opportunity for new enrollees to Black Earth to go on the Black Earth site and check out the Norwood detail. And the Norwood detail basically now is Norwood itself will provide a starter kit for those folks who want to enter into weekly or bi-weekly composting, food composting. At the end of our pilot, we were able to secure and retrieve a number of little bins that you see around during the mostly on Tuesdays. We've had them in storage now at the DPW for several months, and we're working on an arrangement where we're going to repurpose those for starter kits for folks to enter into composting. That's a compost bin with some bags. Usually it costs you just about $39 to purchase. We have them for those enrollees. Those who go on the Black Earth site, blackearthcompost.com, check out the Norwood detail. You can enroll and get a free bin and compost bags from our own DPW. We're hoping that we can incent at least 60 to 70 folks to enroll. At that point in time, we will hit the next level of volume discount from our vendor, Black Earth, which would mean that there will be a 20% reduction in weekly compost rates from that participation. So I'm not going to bore everybody with a lot of stats, but currently for weekly compost pickup from Black Earth, the Norwood rate is $3.46 a week. And as we get to 400 households, it goes down to $2.69 a week. So that's a 20% decrease. And that we can attain, I think, if we hit that 400 level participation rate. So we're updating the DPW page in the town's social media with that detail. Those folks who are interested in learning more about it, I think the first place to go is blackearth.com. Type in Norwood and you will see the Norwood detail there. So it's great collaboration. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting our numbers up so that our residents who choose to compost will get another volume discount break from Black Earth. And last night we had the last open house for our comprehensive plan steering committee. Had an open house at the library. Very good event. Around 20 folks came and spent a good amount of time going around the room, providing input regarding the strategies associated with the 6 goals and objectives, or 6 themes that the comprehensive plan is building around. We're coming to the end of the public input period. There's still time to go online on the town site, on the comprehensive plan site, and you might see this around town. The QR code is available for those folks to still participate in providing your input in terms of the goals and objectives that have been developed by the committee. And that input was very important to us in order to be able to prioritize goals and objectives and strategies that will come out of the planning process, which is coming to an end now, the public input period. We're now entering into a phase where we're taking all the input and be developing the specific document for the comprehensive plan after almost a 2-year process. So hopefully folks have participated in a number of the activities, but again, public meetings have ended, but we still have opportunity online to participate through the survey. Thank you, Madam Chair. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Donnelly. Mr. Sad.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I want to congratulate the 2 Olympians from Norwood. Usually you don't get 1, but we got 2, little old Norwood. And I don't know if you can send a message to Doug. A lot of it's from his leadership and direction, and it seems like they're both on the hockey rink ice. Mm-hmm. But congratulations to the 2 of them. And then April 25th, South Norwood Fishing Derby. It's around the corner. We'll start planning that. Kevin and Paul, great leaders for both divisions, and we'll miss them. And they did great for Norwood. And Mr. Manager, do you need a motion on this thing for Corbin?
If you want to, yeah, just so that we know that.
I'd like to make a motion we don't support it.
So we'll get the letter from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would support that. I just very quickly gave her a look-see in this, and the bill itself that's being proposed by the communities in the West is a $35 million bill for that. If it should pass, the $35 million would be paid, I would assume, by the MWA ratepayers, of which Norwood was one of them. The article goes on to speak a lot to the pilot payments and other benefits that the Quabbin Reservoir communities do get from MWRA. And I think that generally anything that's going to be resulting in a rate increase like that isn't specific to our town and in our MWA communities, we should oppose. So I second Mr. Sad's motion.
Thank you, Mr. Donnelly.
Anything further on the motion? Great, motion made by Mr. Sad and seconded by Mr. Donnelly. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. All right, Mr. Manager, we'll have you go ahead and craft a letter, and this will be a good opportunity for me to do another reach out to the delegation. Sure. Excellent. For my part, for my items, one of the things that I'll be sending out to you all very soon is another look at our goals and objectives as a board. It'll be just a look at which ones have we marked off of our list and which ones are we still in progress on, which ones, if there's any, that maybe we feel need to be modified or perhaps even tabled. So you'll get an update on that. The document's still available in our normal document repo like it was last time. But and then if anybody has new things that they think we need to fold onto the list, we have quite a list already. But if you do feel like there's a new priority that needs to rise to the top, just let me know.
I did let Tony know, and I'm sure he'll send you what I said.
Absolutely. And so beyond that, I'm also making sure that we're keeping up on our manager review, so we'll have more information about that in the next meeting. So with that, that is everything that I have, and I'll entertain any other motions such as adjourning.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Donnelly to adjourn, seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon.